And that wraps up Weather with Clyde. We now join you back in the studio where we're here to discuss the life story of Edmond Dantes, a rising star. Edmond Dantes' life story recently became famous when it was told through the book Count of Monte Cristo, written by Alexandre Dumas. Now, many people ask, what is a Byronic hero? A Byronic hero is a melancholy and rebellious young man, typically, distressed by a terrible wrong he committed in the past that tends to follow him. Some characteristics of a Byronic hero is a Byronic hero has many qualities associated with heroes, the good guys. Some of the normal hero qualities he has are smartness and strength. But some of his other qualities that are not so good is he's typically rebellious, moody, but he can be passionate, but at the same time arrogant and oftentimes emotional because of his past life. So, some qualities that make Edmond Dantes a Byronic hero is that he's an outcast. There's no one there for him in his life. He had his father, he had his wife, he had everything going for him. He didn't have the best life, but he had a good life. And some people who didn't like him were plotting against him. And, those people ruined his life forever. They took it to the extreme where they sent him to jail and wasted 14 years of his life that he'll never get back. His father is dead because the people who sent him away took his money from his father, so his father was not able to buy the food to keep himself alive. His wife is gone. She remarried because she thought that her husband, Edmond, was killed. She had no clue where he had gone. And Edmond just ended up suffering in jail for 14 years, and there was nothing that he could do. There was no way to get out of there. No one was helping him. It was just him sitting there day after day, finding himself, waiting, hoping for a way to get out. And we all know that jail is not like this. It's like that. Now, all through Edmond's jail time, he suffered a lot. Every day, he waited and waited until he would hopefully find a way out. He did make a friend in jail, a priest by the name of Abbe Busani. Abbe Busani was like a father to him because he had not seen his father in years. And as much as he missed him, he needed someone in his life like that. And Abbe Busani filled the role of his father. But he tragically died to an illness. And although several times Edmond saved his life by using a poison that can bring someone back to life, he can only be saved so many times. Edmond was miserable in jail, and most of all, his pain and suffering came from the fact that he knew his fiancée, Mercedes, had probably moved on. He didn't want to admit it. He told himself that she would be waiting for him, but in reality, he knew that she would not be waiting for him and that she had likely moved on. And when he came back, to his surprise, she had moved on, but to his rival. Another way that Edmond Dantes served as a Byronic hero is that he was very alone at the beginning, cast away from society once he exited jail. He exited jail through a dangerous escape by faking his death and was thrown into the ocean, where he was able to escape the chains that he was tied to and get back to the little island Monte Cristo, where he became the Count of Monte Cristo. He was given a fortune by the Abbe Busoni from the prison, and with that fortune, he could do whatever he wanted. But once he came back to his homeland, he found out that everything he had was gone, and he became an outcast. He no longer had his fiancée. She had moved on. His father had passed, and at this point, he had nothing left. The only person keeping him comfort was his slave, Haiti, who he bought from France, and the only reason he bought her was to free her from slavery. At this point, he was just an outcast from society. No one was there for him, and the only person he had to keep him company was Haiti, and he loved Haiti. But no matter what, it wouldn't be the same for what he had towards his father and his fiancée, Mercedes. So, Edmond Dantes has lost everything, and now we see another trait come out of him as a Byronic hero. He becomes selfish. He has an unlimited amount of money. He will never, ever run out of money with the fortune that he was granted by the Abbe Busoni. And with that money, he doesn't choose to help people. He chooses to seek revenge on the ones who have destroyed his life. Now, although this seems somewhat reasonable in a way, with all that money, there's just so much he can do. And he tells himself that he's playing God and that he deserves to have the right to ruin these people's lives. So, another quality that Edmond Dantes possessed as a Byronic hero is that he grew very selfish, in the sense that he was granted a fortune by Abbe Busoni that entitled him basically to never ever run out of money. He had an endless supply of money, and what he chose to do with it was attack the people who ruined his life. Rather than move on and try and rebuild with all the money he had, he decided that he wanted to go after the people who hurt him before, which in a sense may be understandable, but he took it to the point where he was throwing away millions and millions of francs every single day just so he could complete his complex plan to destroy their lives entirely. And it wasn't good enough just for the person to have a ruined life or to die. He needed to ruin everyone who's around him. He needed to ruin their families, their friends, everyone related to him. Dantes also showed his strengths when he allowed Maximilian to suffer great pain that he himself had also gone through without intervening. And this was very hard for him to do, but in the end, it was a great success because Maximilian became very depressed and wanted to take his own life. But once he found out that he had not lost what he thought he had actually gained more and gained a newer appreciation for everything. Those are some reasons that Edmond Dantes was a Byronic hero. I hope you enjoyed Nightly News with Lorenzo. Tune in next time, and I'll see you later. Good night. And that wraps up the weather with Clyde.
What? What happened to the sports with Jimbo? Go, boy, go! I was weak.
Therefore, Edmond Dantes would be a Byronic hero. Crap.
You suck.
Ah!
Amateur hour.
No, whatever.